Nautical Network, and welcome to our new series where we put you behind the helm of some of the most iconic and cutting-edge boats on the water. Today, we will be discussing the inspiration behind this new model, its performance, technology, and where you can experience one for yourself. Without further ado, I would like to introduce CEO of Mystic Powerboats, John Cosker.
Thank you, Summer. Today's a very special day for us here at Mystic as we expand our growing outboard-powered express cruiser line, and I'd like to introduce today our brand new M5200.
So John, take us back. In 1996, you founded Mystic Powerboats. In 2004, you created your largest build ever, the SL700, that was 70 foot long and capable of speeds up to 80 miles per hour. And fast forward to 2015, Mystic produced the first M4200 center console with a V-hull and outboard power. And today we are honored to be on board the new M5200. This boat is incredible. John, please tell us the story behind this.
This boat we're sitting on here today, it's about a culmination of 2 years worth of work that we did from scratch design. I do all the naval architecture and design work myself here at Mystic. So we started with a clean sheet, had basically some layouts and stuff that we wanted to fit into on the boat, and we started out overall length about 52 feet, 14-foot beam. We kind of pushed the beam out on the boat, wider than some of the other boats on the market. We've got a lot of real estate to work with here, so we've got a number of different seating arrangements we can do. This is our factory demo boat here. We have basically as much seating as we can fit in the middle there because we load this boat up. We do a lot of poker runs with our demo boats, and we're using this as our platform to go out and show people how the boat runs, both out in the ocean here in Daytona Beach or on the Intercoastal, see what kind of speeds it'll attain.
Definitely not lacking on seating here.
No, and we have a number of different arrangements that we can do in this. We're working with different customers. We've got hull number 5 in the mold, actually. Even though we're just releasing this boat, we have been, as we've developed this boat, we've also put other boats into production. So we have 2 boats in rigging right now. We have 1 in assembly, getting the hull and deck put together, and then we have the 5th one in the mold. When we kind of made the change in 2015, we went away from our racing heritage that we worked at so hard back then. We went to outboard power, and we started focusing a little bit more on a pleasure boat, a more reproducible boat. Now our goal next year is to build about 30-something boats with the new model coming in. We've got our 38-footer, and then we've got our 42. We made the jump all the way up to a 52 with this boat. We may fill the model line somewhere in the middle eventually. So we've had about 3 people who have 42s. One gentleman's on a second 42, and he's made the leap to go to a 52. We actually have one of our customers who has one of our 50-foot cats who is going into a 52. He's replacing his big 58-foot Sea Ray with this boat here for Lake of the Ozarks. It was a lot of work developing this boat, but as we saw today when we went out in the ocean with it, I started the company in 1996, but it was down in Melbourne, Florida, and what we found down there was we had no inlet. So we moved in '99. We actually moved the company up here to Port Orange and then eventually out to DeLand. The big reason for that move was so we can go out in the Atlantic and test our boats in the real world. So, you can see out there today, it was a sporty Atlantic day out there. The inlet was a little bit rough. So, I was really pleased with how the boat went through it and everything. We've got very deep gunnels on this boat. We've got a big bow to get through big waves with it. This is a long distance cruiser. It's comfortable, it's fast, it's efficient. We have a Seakeeper 6 on board here, so it's incredibly stable when you're sitting at rest as well as when you're running out in the ocean. This bow area here, we really opened this up quite a bit with the extra beam that's on the 52 versus the 42. So we have seating for about 11 people up here. We actually have tables on the floor that will go up and down. They go up to a sun pad height, and we can fill this whole front area in, make that into a great big sun pad in the front here, or it can go up to dining height. So you can actually have lunch, dinner, whatever you want out in the front here. I tasked PPI, who does all of our seating on the boats, with creating basically 3 thrones here in the front. They're some of the best seats in the house. They're very, very comfortable. They actually have phone chargers under each armrest. We have switching on the side there where you can control your light stereo system right from that switching, as well as the front tables. We have our windlass locker up in the front here where you can operate the windlass either from the front or from the helm itself. And we have a chain lock up there that you have to release before letting the chain down. There's an access hatch there that gets you down into the chain locker in there. So if the chain does get spooled up or something like that, we have access into that to be able to get it undone up in the front there. And then the other 2 seats in the front here actually flip inward too, and there's more storage below those. We also have a locker in the floor here. It serves 2 purposes. One is it's access down to our bow thruster, which is down under the flooring down in here. And then we have all of our line and fender storage here. So you have one central area for everybody to go on the boat where all the dock lines come from, and then they go back to after you left the dock. This new model, the M5200, obviously it's 52 feet long, overall length plus engines on it. The beam is 14 foot, so that gives us a lot of room on board with the boat, both on deck as well as in the cabin. This particular boat's powered with quad 600 horsepower Mercury V12s. We do have different engine options on the boat. There's a lot of standard equipment on the boat. It's not a long option list on it. It's mainly, which engine package do you want to put on it. We can put 5 or 6 of the Mercury Racing 450s on it, or the quad 600s on this boat. Speeds range, anywhere from in the 70s. We've got a full carbon fiber built boat that's going together in the shop right now that will have 6 450s on it. That boat, we're looking at upwards of maybe 90 miles an hour with that boat. So it's pretty exciting for a big boat like this to run that fast. So we've got about a 3-foot draft. We kind of keep our whole model line, so roughly a 3-foot draft. This one's 38 inches on this. So it's a great Bahamas boat, shallow water boat, to get into all the areas you want to explore with it. In this boat, we wanted something that was a little bit bigger so that we could maybe go down the island chain and maybe spend 2 or 3 nights on the boat, where, the cabin in the 42 is a little bit smaller. It doesn't have its own enclosed head, so it's not as private. This has a much larger cabin. It actually has an aft cabin in it. So if a family wanted to go down, the front berth converts into a nice bed in the front there, and then you have an aft berth in there for the kids also. So you both have your privacy. Has its own separate shower away from the head on the boat. So there's a partition wall in there, so it's not a wet head. So, you can go in there, take a shower, and not have the mirror all wet and everything on it. It's a very comfortable area below, obviously air conditioned down there. We have an option for cockpit air conditioning on the boat too, to make it that much more comfortable. It's a boat that you could stay on a little bit more. You can travel with it. Obviously we've come from the poker run market too. You can take this boat on a poker run. When we had the boat up at Lake of the Ozarks not that long ago, we actually went out with 18 people on board this boat, and I was really pleased with it because everybody wasn't stumbling all over each other. We've gone out with a number of people on my 42s. It gets a little crowded after a while when you get too many people on it. It was perfectly comfortable being out with that many people on the boat for the day.
You mentioned poker runs, and I know those are very performance oriented. How do you keep up with the other boats?
Well, why don't we go back and I'll show you the power on this boat. Summer, we've enjoyed a really long and really great relationship with Mercury and Mercury Racing. All of our boats are powered with Mercury. Obviously these 600s are just incredible engines that they put together. They pack so much technology into these, whether it's just the easy access to get in and service the whole top of your engine, to the 2-speed transmission that's in it that makes it get on plane so quickly. Dual prop power, so you've got so much thrust for maneuverability and things like that. Right into the joystick. I'm not a huge joystick fan. We've built some joystick boats, but not a ton of them. The joystick on this, because you've got so much thrust in the back of the boat, and this joystick also interfaces with the bow thruster, which we've never had that luxury before. So you can pull this boat straight off a dock sideways, so I can put anybody at the helm of this and they can maneuver it easily. Which people transitioning from a smaller boat to a bigger one like this, that's kind of the first thing they ask about. Can they handle it themselves and things like that? And honestly, graduating up to this bigger boat, I never thought I'd take this out by myself. With the features that are on this boat, I would have no problem doing that at all. Maneuverability at the dock is important, but the one thing I've kind of coined the phrase about this boat is it looks like a yacht, but it drives like a sports car. With our background in race boat technology and things like that, we're a relatively light boat for its size. We weigh about 26,000 pounds. That translates into some really good efficient cruising speeds. I've found in running this boat, the little bit I have so far, anywhere from 45 to 65 miles an hour, our fuel mileage is within about 1/10 a mile per gallon. So it's really efficient. Throughout our model range, we try to have about a 300-mile range with a full tank of fuel. Sure. So this boat holds 650 gallons of fuel. That'll get us easily a 300-mile range with some reserve on it.
Well, I would love to check it out. Can we walk to the helm and show me how it works?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it.
Let's go.
So we're here at the helm of the boat now. We mentioned the joystick. We have really good, easy access to the joystick piloting system right here. This boat in particular has 24-inch screens on it. Standard is 22, you can upgrade to the 24s. We have dash AC on this boat, so you can stay cool because you're pretty well protected in here. We have a big windshield on it, so there's virtually no wind in this area here. It keeps you nice and dry, not wind blown, very comfortable in this area here. The layout is similar to what we have with our 42 and our 38 helms. We kind of let off that. We've got the brand new Mercury controls here with the next generation, your Seakeeper controls, your stereo controls. We have a charger in the center here for your phone, so it not only holds your phone in place so you can see it right in front of you there to use it, but it also charges it while it's in place there too. Love
that, gotta keep it charged.
Absolutely.
I know you take a lot of selfies, right?
Yeah, that's me.
I would in this boat.
Yeah. We have a variable speed bow thruster system on this. It's a side power bow thruster system that actually interfaces with the joystick system. So when you push the joystick sideways on this, it's running both the bow thruster as well as the engines. The strange thing with it when it's maneuvering is you don't see the tops of these engines turn, it's just the bottom lowers that turn on it.
Wow.
So, like, as I said before, very maneuverable with the joystick and everything on it. You've got great visibility out of here. It's a full glass windshield wraparound. You've got another GPS up at the top here, so we've got a 12-inch screen up there. It's a full function GPS. What I've got it set up for right now is actually a rear view camera, which we use a lot in the poker runs and everything, so you can see what's behind you, what's coming up on you when you slow down. The boat shows, everybody thinks it's a docking camera. We never use it for that. But, one thing we've done with these boats now is for everybody involved in it is we can take so many people out on the boat. We actually have speed up here so people can see how fast they're going. We have another big screen up in the front so everybody in the front of the boat can see that also and see, you know, what the speed is. If we have a navigational course up there or something like that, they can actually see how long it's going to be before we get to our destination and things like that. So we've tried to draw the people into the boat that much more so they've got as much information as the captain does at this point on these boats. So one thing we haven't really talked about that much is this great big hardtop that's on this boat. You know, it kind of tortured me throughout the design, like how much we needed to cover and then keep a hardtop on the boat that just doesn't look like a big plank thrown up there. So I'm really happy with the styling on it, and then with the boat, how much coverage it really gives you for a full day out on the boat. You know, we're in the shade here. All 3 rows of seats here can easily see out of the boat. It doesn't block your visibility at all. You know, we have all of our stereo equipment up in the roof here. The whole hardtop is basically, it's carbon fiber from the gunnels up. So it makes it really lightweight, very stiff structure up there. We also have the shade systems on the front and back of this boat with the poles on it. So you can spend a full day out on this boat and really not be out in the direct sunlight on it. So you can be in here in full coverage here under the hardtop, or you can be out on one of the other decks where you might get a little bit of sunlight, but you're not getting the direct Florida sun like we have out here today. The stereo system in the boat, we have, it's over 24 speakers in this boat. It's the biggest system that we put in them. You see the speakers throughout the top, they're throughout the gunnels. We have 4 12-inch subwoofers in here, 2 10s up in the front.
They're everywhere.
It's a great sound system, and it's actually the same system. It's the highest end system that we put in our 42. But I found with this boat, it's spread out so much more because we have so much more real estate to work with it. It even sounds better than it does in the 42. You might have noticed when we left the dock this morning, it was a little bit darker and much earlier today. So you can see that all the speakers on the boat actually light up. We have a LumiShore lighting system on this boat. So you can touch one button on the dash on this and turn every light on the boat blue or every light on the boat red. We can create themes with the lighting system on the boat to tie into interior colors, the overall paint job on the boat or something like that.
Very cool.
You know, we have 12 underwater lights on this boat. Our lighting package comes standard with the 52, and then you can add underwater lights to that. So you get a standard 4 transom lights on it. We added an additional 4 transom lights, and then we have underwater light in every one of the steps on this boat too. So, you know, this is a boat that you can not only can be very comfortable in it during the day, but you can look great at night with it too. The nice thing with Mystic is everything on the boat is custom pretty much. We start with the hull and deck. We work with the customers on paint, patterns, flooring. So what we'll do is our painter, Doug Harrell, DHD Designs, he'll start with the customer and pick out like a color palette on it. Okay. So say, you know, is it blue, is it red? Do you want racy striping? Do you want something a little more sedate on it? He works with them and he gets a lot of preliminary designs and things like that done. And then what we do is we have the owner come into our design studio for usually a full day, if not 2, to plan out everything else in the boat. Every texture, every color, the stitch patterns, what color the stitching is, your flooring, what's the pattern in the floor. We work with Gator Step because they're a very custom company like ourselves, so they'll do renditions for us to show the customer exactly what their flooring is going to look like in color as well as what the pattern is going to look like on the flooring. So we try to make the process as fun and easy as possible. It can be overwhelming for some people. You know, at the end of the day, the boat is a boat. You know, we have a lot of competitors build boats like this. It's all about the customer experience with Mystic. You know, it's how we treat them throughout the whole build process, because they are very involved in the boat and everything. And then, you know, how we treat them after the build and through their ownership experience. You know, it's rewarding for us that about 40% of our sales are actually return customers, whether they're moving up in size from a 38 to a 42 and now from a 42 to a 52, or whether they're just building a new boat with new power on it or something like that. We sell everything factory direct, so we have a very close relationship through the build, and then throughout their ownership experience with the boat, we keep very close tabs on them. We've built over 100, I think it's 120 outboard boats at this point, and I think there's only 2 or 3 boats out of all of those that we actually don't know where they are or who the customer is. So we keep track of the boats after the sales and try to support our customers.
Thank you so much for having us here today. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you for the walkthrough on the new M5200. What do you say we take one last cruise and head back to the dock?
That sounds great. Let's fire it up.
It's been an amazing experience here on the all-new M5200 with CEO John Cosker. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and comment below on what boat you want to see next. Bye guys!